Welcome back to another episode of Cold Stream Rod Shop. I'm Derek Fraser. In this week's episode, we're going to continue working on Ellie's Coupe. Last week we did stuff with the drip rail and the drip tray. There's one more piece I have to make in order to permanently install the drip tray. I'll show you how to make that. It's very simple to make. Also, the radiator finally came in for Brenda's Roadster, so hopefully we'll get into that and do some of the finishing work on Brenda's Roadster to get it ready to turn it over to the customer. The timeline to turn it over should be in the next 2 or 3 weeks, but we'll see how all that goes. I mean, I'll start working on that, and you know how it is sometimes working on these cars, it goes fast or slow. So anyway, follow along, we'll see what's going on with that. If we keep on working on Ellies Coupe, there's 2 more things I need to fabricate for it. One of them is a support that goes to the back of the deck lid hinge. The other one is a rumble support that goes here. I've made them previously a year or more ago on the other cars, the other 5-window coupes I worked on. I have pieces left over, so this is an example. This is a patch piece that would normally go to support the deck lid hinge area, and this is what a rumble support will look like. So if we have time, I'll show you how I made these and hopefully install them on Ellies Coupe. And then if you follow all the way to the very end of this video, there's a new project. So anyway, watch it all. In last week's episode, we made this piece here, which is a lower drip tray that goes underneath the back deck lid. I have it under the car right now, but I didn't have time to install it. Now, in order to install it, there's another piece of mounting hardware, if you want to call it, that has to be made. It's a really simple piece. It's basically 7/8 by 7/8, 18 gauge. There's a couple holes into it, and essentially it acts as a tray for this piece here to sit on. Now, where it goes right there, and it takes 4 screws to hold it on. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get some self-tapping screws and I'll screw that in place, and then we'll get that lower drip tray put in place. So there's the lower deck lid sill or valance or whatever you want to call it put in place. I did put the screws in the valley here just like they were on the originals. Now you probably see that there's 2 screws here and there's none in the center, but the thing is there's going to be a catch here for the deck lid that's going to, a couple holes that go through here, so it'll be actually further held in place here. And then in the back you can see the screws where I put it into it. Now someone said to me or messaged me and said, well, you know, you welded this support in place, how come you screwed this one in place? And I'm just kind of trying to follow the way Henry Ford did it, but I guess what I would further speculate is that, you know, for deck lid cars, you would have this, but for rumble cars you wouldn't. So they would probably more than likely assemble the car with everything riveted or welded in place, and then this would be screwed in afterwards when they determine whether or not it was a deck lid or a rumble lid car, because whether these cars had a deck lid or a rumble seat into it, they all had the rumble supports put in place, and they all had the braces for the deck lid hinge as well. So just guessing, but that's probably why I think they screwed this in place. There's one other screw that we have to put in right here, but I'm going to need to find myself like a countersunk screw to go in there and then put a nut from in behind. But these holes here, if I didn't mention it before, are where the little rubber bumpers go that the deck lid will come up against. So that's kind of it for that piece. What I'm going to work on next, I believe I'm going to make the hinge supports that go down here. Now, like I said before, I've made these before. I have a piece left over. This is a patch one right there, so that's kind of what it looks like. But I need to make some new ones of these with a longer piece on the bottom, and then they'll have like a flange onto it. So I dug out my wooden bucks that I used before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up some sheet metal blanks, and then I'm going to pound them into shape on those wooden bucks. So there's the first blank all cut up and ready to sandwich between the 2 wooden bucks. What I did first, because there's multiple steps to it, there's a couple bends I made into this first. Now, when I squeeze it with the wood, it'll take the shape of it anyways, but there's a contour here, a bend, another bend up. So I allowed for enough material to bend over the edges. So what I'll do now is I'm going to take that between the two pieces of wood, clamp it over there on the vise, and I'm going to beat the crap out of it until I get the edges rounded over. After making a support and bending the edges over, and then as you saw, I took a hammer and I flattened this edge. The next thing we have to do is trim it for the end here. Now this is the end where the hinge will actually come up through this hole from the inside. And then at the bottom, I have to cut it on an angle, bend a flange over, and then we'll put some holes here so we can do a plug weld into the floor. So right now I've dry fitted that a couple times. I'm getting ready to put it in there with the hinge, double check it again, and then tack weld that one in place. And then I'll go and start working on the second one here. So there's the deck lid hinge supports welded in place. Like I said, I put a couple of holes in the bottom down here, plug welded it to the floor for this little notch in the floor. That's what it's for. And then up underneath here on this side, and then on the back side, you can see the weld penetration there. I tacked this in place up against the inside of the sheet metal. And I've also installed the deck lid hinges. I made sure that those fit first, and then the pin turns good. Both sides are done now. This is about as close as I can get to an original. I think the originals might have been riveted down there. Could have been spot welded, but we're going to make them look as close as we can. So that's the deck lid supports and the deck lid hinges put in place. Next up, we've got to do the rumble supports. Now, this is not a rumble car, but all of the cars, whether they had deck lids or rumble seats, that is, they had these supports here. I didn't do time lapse on this because it literally is the same thing that I just finished doing for you. Essentially, I've got these wooden bucks here. I make a sheet metal blank. I take it over on the bench. I use the nylon hammer, beat the sides in, and then we bend the flange up on the bottom for the floor. Put a couple holes into it so we can do our weld plugs. And then, of course, across the top here, same thing. There are 2 holes drilled here in the same place as what a rumble hinge would be on because, like I said, even the cars with deck lids still had these. And I think what a lot of people will do, they'll use these supports here to attach upholstery if they want to upholster the trunk or something like that. So we're going to put them in just like the Henry Ford did. What I'll do right now is, like I said, I'll put these in the car. I'll do the weld plugs on both ends, and then we'll wrap up what we're doing on the back of the car here. Well, it's down off the blocks now, have the radiator in, transmission's fixed. We're going to take her for a first drive. I did take it for a really quick one, but I'm going to take it down the road and back again, see if I can bring it up to temperature. So Brenda's Roadster is running. Well, everything went well. Nothing leaked as far as I can tell. Everything steered, everything braked. We've got 5 miles on it so far, and I guess we'll run around, tighten up a few more things, and hopefully we'll turn it over to the customer soon. So that's it. We've got the deck lid supports all welded in place. The rumble lid supports, I made those and put those in place. And we have the lower valance, or the lower grip rail, whatever you want to call this thing, put in place with the support underneath it. So 5 different things we made for the Ellies Coupe. Not that exciting, some of it, beating metal around a wooden buck. I only showed you the one piece, but that's what I had to do for all 4 of these. We've done this before on the other 2 5-window coupes, but we've got this now completed on Ellies Coupe here. The video is a little bit short this week. I apologize for that, but we spent a lot of time working on Brenda's Roadster, putting the new radiator in over the weekend. That's something I've done before. I really didn't feel as though I needed to show you me taking the radiator out and putting it back in and aligning the hood, because again, we covered that on a previous episode. So, but the good thing is that Brenda's Roadster is all done. It's ready to be picked up. More than likely it'll be picked up over the next couple days. We'll probably show a little clip in a future episode of it leaving, kind of thing. The other thing, we're approaching summer, so some of the videos we're going to continue to work. We're not going to do short videos, like really short videos like we did last summer, but the videos will get a little shorter over the summer, because we're going to try and get out to some car shows and enjoy the warm weather. The other thing, I promised I'd show you an upcoming project, so come on outside and I'll show you the project. So for those of you who've been following our channel for quite a while, I don't know, about 6 months ago or something like that, we did a 58 Ford pickup cab, and I had mentioned at that time there will be another project coming along. So this is it. This is a 1958 Ford crew cab or 4-door, I'm not sure what you want to call it, but we're going to have to do the same thing to this project in the future. It has some different issues than the other one did. The floor is actually a little bit stronger and some of the sub rails. But what we have to do is fix the sheet metal, fix the doors, and then along the back, I guess in 1958, I'm not an expert on this, but in 1958 there was an option to have like a wraparound window versus a small window. So the gentleman that owns this, he has a cab with a wraparound window, and because there's so much damage to the back of this one, the plan is to replace the back of this or cut out a section of it and actually put the large wraparound window in this cab. So we're not going to get to this right away. I don't know whether it's going to be the next 2, 3, 4 months or so, but we basically have one project going out, which is Brenda's Roadster, and we've got another one coming in to get queued up. So lots of work at Coldstream Rod Shop. We've got a little bit of a variety here. Same theme, 58 and 58, but that's okay. At least it's familiar for us. Anyway, that's it for this week at Coldstream Rod Shop. Please like, share, tag, and subscribe, and come on back next week and see what we're up to. Everybody take care and have a great week.